Now at 10, some Carthage residents show their support for the mayor and city administrator after calls for their dismissal. Plus, a proposed sober living house in Baxter Springs has some members of the community divided. And Fort Scott, Kansas welcomes visitors to the city with a brand new archway.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Community members voiced support for the Carthage city officials after the city council discusses their removal. This is KOIM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. KOIM Samantha Walker sat down with one official caught in the middle of the controversy.
Earlier this month, the Carthage City Council made a vote of no confidence in Mayor Dan Rife. The council also voted to dismiss City Administrator Greg Dagnon, but Mayor Rife says the motion requires his vote, and he is not willing to approve the removal of Dagnon.
It takes a majority vote of the council and the concurrence of the mayor, and I don't agree with that in any way, shape, or form. I mean, city administrator has done nothing but a fantastic job. So to me, there's no reason for him to be removed from his position.
Council members who voted for the removal of the two officials say there is a mistrust. Since the council vote, city employees and community members have voiced their support for the mayor and the city administrator. Many in the community have distributed a letter by email that says they are in support of the immediate suspension of all proceedings leading to the removal of the two city officials.
Of course, it feels good to know that there are a lot of folks out there that do support us and do see the positive changes that have happened in the last few years and want to see that continue.
Mayor Rife says this process could take months, slowing down other city work. He says the people most impacted are citizens.
It's on everybody's mind, and it's making it difficult for everyone.
We've reached out to every Carthage City Council member. Council members Lori Lease and Alan Snow are the only ones to respond. Lease says she wishes to receive all the facts before making a decision about potential removals. Councilman Snow says over time he has lost trust in both the mayor and the city administrator. You can read his full statement on our website, KOIMNewsNow.com. Reporting in Carthage, Samantha Walker, KOIM News.
The agenda for tomorrow's City Council agenda, the meeting then includes discussing law firm options for an opinion on the removal of the city administrator. You can learn more about the current issues between Carthage City Council and some city officials on our website, KOIMNewsNow.com. Upright House Ministries is building its first sober living home for men on Park Avenue in Baxter Springs, Kansas. The Christian nonprofit organization plans to house 6 men who are serious about living sober, they say. One neighbor passed out flyers to residents concerned about the location. The sober living home is 300 feet from an elementary school and a 3-minute walk from a restaurant bar that you can see from the porch.
Folks that are getting really upset don't really understand who we're talking about. They think that it's going to be like Skid Row. That cannot happen in the neighborhood, and it will not happen in the neighborhood.
The residents who made the flyer plan to speak to the city council meeting that resident does to address the placement of the sober living home. Baxter Springs City Council meeting is tomorrow at 7 p.m. It's been almost a month since the city of Lamar, Missouri announced it was taking bids from engineering firms to demolish the city's aquatic park and remediate the land. However, since then, many community members have spoken up and say they do not want to see the pool removed. Some community members met today to discuss and come up with a plan that they'll eventually present to the city in hopes of keeping most or part of that aquatic facility.
Our park is just so beautiful, and I think keeping our pool there and alive would just improve the quality of life for the citizens and all. It's not just for kids, it's for all ages. Swimming and water is so good for everyone.
The city has not yet decided what will happen to that facility. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at the weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice Monday for us today. Temperatures fantastic, up to 69 for a high. Chilly start, 37. We got a little frosty in spots, but at least we stayed above freezing. 71 is our average high, 49 is our average low, and the record of 90 on this date. All right, still kind of windy out there. The winds are going to calm down as we continue to go through the night, but still definitely breezy. And we do have some clouds which have been increasing over the past couple hours. We have a weak little wave, weak little cold front that is going to head toward us. That may give us a random shower as we go through the daytime hours tomorrow. Better chances for a few thunderstorms on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, at least a low severe threat, and then a much higher severe threat Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we're going to be breaking this down, talking about this here in just a bit.
See you soon. Baxter Springs officials today broke ground for a new firehouse and hosted a news conference to announce federal funding for the project. $1 million in federal funds will be freed up to replace the city's current firehouse, which is more than 100 years old. Fire officials say they've outgrown the current station and they need more space.
It will. Having a bigger fire station allows us to grow with the demand of the fire service. The fire service is ever changing and the equipment gets larger. We need more equipment to do more of the job, and having a place to store it is key.
Former firefighters were on hand for that ceremony. The federal money comes from fiscal year 2024 appropriations package, which was passed by Congress and signed into law just last month. City of Fort Scott now has a brand new entranceway to its historic downtown. Fort Scott Chamber of Commerce today hosted this ribbon cutting for the new downtown arch. It was paid for with grants from the Patterson Family Foundation and Blue Cross Blue Shield. The event also served as the kickoff for the downtown cleanup project.
The community members were so important. They were a part of every decision. We had a steering committee of community members that were able to completely draft up the design and see it through.
What this does is recognizes that health in a community is really about quality of life. And so this initiative, they worked with community members to identify what the community members would like to see that makes their community inviting and a great place to live.
Chamber also gave away camping chairs and a fire pit at that event. Good day for some high school baseball. John Dales has highlights from Pittsburgh versus Chanute later in sports. But first, the U.S. Supreme Court weighs in on issues surrounding homelessness. The nation's struggle with homelessness reached the Supreme Court today for arguments about whether a ban on people sleeping in Oregon's public parks is constitutional. An appeals court struck down the measure, saying it violated the 8th Amendment because it punishes people for something they don't have any control over. The High Court justices today weighed whether homelessness is someone's status or their conduct. A ruling is expected by the end of June. Back in December, the Missouri Supreme Court struck down a similar law enacted by the state legislature that prohibited the homeless from sleeping on state-owned property. Joe Hickman looks at the problem that still exists and what difference the U.S. Supreme Court ruling might have.
Even though Springfield's Eden Village won its lawsuit last December that struck down House Bill 1606, which made it illegal for the homeless to sleep or camp on state-owned property, those who are living on the streets are still being told to move on from where they are every day. Today, police visited an encampment located a block away from City Hall, where a handful of homeless people had been for several days. They were given 2 days to move on. As to where?
I have no clue. Well, now there's nowhere for us to go that other people have messed it up.
As in next door at NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness is not a homeless shelter, but is a drop-in site during the day.
Like our library, our computer lab, any resources that might help you in your mental health journey.
And when it comes to the homeless having no place to go,
we see this every day. So there are always people outside of our building seeking shelter, sleeping. So we're seeing some vandalism. We see a lot of, unfortunately, urinating on the building, defecating. We recently had to close down because there was a rock thrown through our front window.
Despite all the problems, though, Taylor says allowing laws that punish the homeless doesn't seem like the answer.
There's such a need for a year-round shelter for situations like this, but I just hate that we're criminalizing it. I feel like it just makes it harder on them.
To penalize somebody for something that is out of their control when we're not addressing the root causes or the real issues at hand, I think is a waste of our time and resources.
There's no way you're going to sweep the homelessness under a rug. Instead of trying to sweep it under the rug or locking us all up, why don't you take that grant money
and help us get off the street.
And so at what point do we come together and say, hey, this is not okay? And so for the Supreme Court to really be looking at this issue, I think is really important.
For Christy Stiles, who's been homeless for 3.5 years, the key to not being harassed by the public is for the homeless to clean up after themselves.
This is a mess right now, and yes, this is what people get upset, because people come in and they trash their businesses, trash everything out. They don't have the respect and manners and pick up after themselves and be nice.
And as for the government deciding what to do to try to address homelessness, those who are a part of it remind them.
The things that I see on a daily basis just breaks my heart. These people are just doing their best, and they're being kicked while they're down.
Not all of us are on drugs. Not all of us are rude and mean. Not all of us trash an area. Some of us do have respect and manners for people. Just cut us a little break.
Some advocates say a Supreme Court ruling either way won't address the base problem. They say the best way to keep people from sleeping in parks is to eliminate homelessness. Doug's forecast is next, and later the Webb City Library plants the seeds for some community growth. We'll explain.
Well, of course, a nice day for us today. Temperatures right around 70 degrees. We did have some upper level clouds, but overall, it was a pretty nice day, and it looks like we're going to continue to have nice temperatures as we go through the next couple days. But we do, of course, it is severe weather season, and we do have some hot spots we need to watch. So let's jump into Thursday. Greater severe threat is going to be out across central and western Kansas, but as some of these storms drive in Thursday night, we will have a low severe threat. Now, as we move into Friday, the greater threat shifts right on top of us. And then on Saturday, still really from Kansas City, Joplin, back to Oklahoma City, and also Wichita. And then even on Sunday, we have this threat starting to push back toward the south and to the east. So we could have severe weather 4 days, I think, in the viewing area. It's pretty likely we'll at least have severe weather 3 of the 4 days. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on that. All right, let's go through time. Here's Thursday evening, showers and thunderstorms. Again, greater severe threat is back to our west. On Friday, really right across southeast Kansas, southwest Missouri, into northwest Arkansas, that severe threat. And then Saturday, it kind of back builds to the west and then drives in as we go into Saturday night. And then by Sunday, again, that next line of showers and thunderstorms. So it's severe weather season, and we usually see setups like these at least once during the season. All right, the winds are kind of breezy for us today. They're going to stay breezy tonight, but they are going to back down just a little bit. We do have some clouds starting to increase. This is with our next little weak wave. Cold front draped back across southern parts of Nebraska. This isn't going to do much for us. Could give us a random shower tomorrow, and then the stronger storm system, which will give us our severe weather, building out toward the west. All right, let's go through tonight for you. We'll stop 6 a.m. Some clouds across the region. Could have a random sprinkle. As we go through the day, possibly a random shower or two, especially in our southern counties by the afternoon. Temperatures about 72, 73 for a high. As we go into tomorrow night, we clear out for a bit. Clouds move back in by Wednesday morning. As we work through the day on Wednesday, showers and a few thunderstorms, especially back to our southwest, will start to increase in northeastern Oklahoma and then kind of push through as we go through Wednesday evening, especially our southern counties. Not anticipating those to be too strong or severe. All right, day planner 55 to start, 68 by noon. High temp on your Tuesday, still looking pretty good at 73 degrees, 68 on Wednesday, 70 on Thursday, storms late. We're going to make Friday, Saturday, and Sunday possible alert days just with that severe weather threat. And of course, we're going to know a lot more as we get a little bit closer to the weekend. And then we clear out behind it early next week, back to 72, back to 83 next Tuesday.
Doug, thanks. Firefighters in the Carterville, Missouri area continue to monitor the site of an afternoon grass fire. High south winds nearly pushed that fire into a densely wooded area not far from homes along the 400 block of McKee. Other area responders joined Carterville firefighters in that battle with those flames. Firefighters declared the blaze out by about 6:10 this evening, but they say they're going to continue to monitor hotspots throughout the night. As people across the country celebrate Earth Day, the Webb City Public Library is helping patrons develop their own green thumb. The library has more than books, opening up a seed library for the first time this year. Seed companies and library patrons have donated seeds, and the public is free to come pick out whatever they want. Available seeds include various types of produce, flowers, and herbs. The seed library organizer says it offers an opportunity for the public to try out gardening.
I hope more people are learning to grow their own food and everything like that, because we know there's all sorts of stuff and the stuff we buy and everything. And there's nothing better than homegrown produce and everything.
The library hopes people turn in seeds from their own crops at the end of the season. They hope that by doing so, the seed library is going to create a cycle of growth for the community to enjoy in future years. The Missouri Department of Conservation sets 2024 bear and elk seasons with permit applications in May. The MDC will offer 400 permits for the taking of a maximum of 40 black bears during the black bear hunting season, which began October 21st, runs through the 30th. The department will also offer 5 permits to hunt bull elk in Missouri this fall. The MDC has designated the elk archery portion to run October 19th through the 27th, and the elk firearms portion to run December 14th through the 22nd. We have information on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Still ahead, Missouri Southern women's golf tees off at the first day of the MIAA championship, and Chanute High School baseball tries to take down Pittsburgh for the second time this season. John Dales has those stories and more coming up next.
Two of the top baseball teams in the SEK League meet this afternoon. Pittsburgh hosts Chanute. Now, the Purple Dragons lost to the Blue Comets in their first meeting. That was last month. Both of them enter today, having won 4 of their last 5. Pittsburgh High School baseball on its home field, facing Chanute for the second time this year. Blue Comets winners in the first game. Top of the first, Lars Kester hits a bloop single into left field. That's going to bring in a run, and Chanute takes an early 1-0 lead. Later in the frame, Royce Cheney at the plate, and he connects, hits a line drive into right. That brings in another Blue Comet run. They score 2 in the top of the first. Bottom of the second now, Pittsburgh still down 2-0. Their starting pitcher, Bo Pasteur, comes to the plate with 2 runners on, helps his own cause. Hits this one into the left center gap, but check this out. 2 Purple Dragons get caught up at third base after a miscommunication. Quentin Fears tries to go home and score, but he's gunned down at the plate. Purple Dragons rally, but it's not enough. Chanute beats Pittsburgh for the second time this year. Final score 3-2. Missouri Southern women's golf begins play at the 2024 MIAA Championship in Bolivar this morning. Lady Lions are hoping to replicate the success of the men's team, who just won their conference championship in Kansas City last week. Day 1 of the 3-day tournament at Silo Ridge Golf Club is complete. Lions find themselves in 5th place. They have a team score of 27 over par. Northeastern State in 1st place at 15 over. Rogers State 4 shots behind in 2nd. The Lions are 1 stroke behind Central Oklahoma, who's in 4th place. Here are the individual scores from Missouri Southern's golfers after day 1. Lion teammates Emerson Doyle and Katarina Chinaranska, both of them tied for 12th at 6 over par. Lily Allman, 1 stroke behind. She's tied for 20th at 7 over. Ada Nunez tied for 24th at 8 over. To Major League Baseball, Royals, their 2-game losing streak turns into 3. They lose to the Blue Jays 5-3 tonight, despite out-hitting them 8-6. Salvador Perez with a 2-hit night in a losing effort. Now, these two play each other once again tomorrow night. That's back at Kauffman Stadium. First pitch in that one at 6:40. Over to Busch Stadium, Cardinals down 1 in the 7th inning tonight with Paul Goldschmidt at the plate, and he hits this pitch deep to right center. That's gone. Ties this game at 3. Now we'd remain tied into the bottom of the 9th. Nolan Gorman steps up to the plate with a runner on. First pitch he sees, blasted into the right field bleachers. His first home run in 2 weeks is a walk-off. Sends Cardinals fans home happy. Final score from Busch Stadium, Cardinals win it 5-3. And he said afterwards he knew it was a home run the second that he made contact.
You can see from his reaction the moment it hit the ball, he was just walking and celebrating, and the crowd on their feet. We'll be right back.
Looks like Tuesday overall is going to be a pretty good day. We are going to have a lot of clouds. We could get a random shower. Most of you will stay dry. A few thunderstorms, especially Wednesday evening, and then thunderstorms again late Thursday with a severe threat, possible alert days Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then clearing out early next week.
Doug, thanks. Well, the Joplin Fire Department might have won the annual Guns and Hoses benefit basketball game, but Bright Futures Joplin, well, they're the biggest winner after more than $32,000 was raised. The money's going to help support local students in need, specifically through the organization's Snack Packs program. Through that program, the organizers are able to distribute more than 600 food bags every weekend to students. Of course, that is the fire department and the police department and a bunch of good sports that make that possible every year. Final sports note.
Yeah, tomorrow we have a big high school softball game between one of the best in Kansas against one of the best in Missouri. Diamond takes his undefeated 29-0 record across the state border to Columbus, who's 16-1, has just one loss all season. Looking forward to that one.
Yes, something's got to break.
True.
Yes. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. and let's make it a great tomorrow.